Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Out Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Wednesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Search the Black Out Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts because we like those. Make them nice. Be nice, and we'll read them on the air. It's like a nice hug from digitally, you know. The official weapon of the show is
Folding chair.
And the unofficial sport,
Bullet ball.
And bullet ball, extreme. And don't forget, live show tickets are available. They are for sale. The link is in the show notes. You can get virtual tickets. You can get tickets in person. We are out of VIP tickets, but that doesn't mean that you can't still come and hang out. It's a very intimate space. You'll be able to see us from any seat in the house.
Yes, you will. It's a beautiful venue.
We've been hired. We hired people, which means it's real. Okay. So like
we finalized that stuff this week.
We didn't just pay for the venue, guys, but like we paid for a photographer. That costs money. So, we need y'all to get these tickets. We paid for somebody that's going to live stream it so that you guys can get that, live stream and that Zoom and that full experience that you're used to every year. So get those tickets. Make sure you get those tickets before. Don't do it last minute.
No.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they cut it off either 1 or 2 days before the show.
Yeah, they do.
And if you get virtual tickets, but you want to watch it, you can watch it later, meaning we will have the recording for you. We will send you the link. You will be able to go back and watch it and see the chat room and all that stuff, experience it all like you were there the first time. So that's a incentive to get those tickets. This time, I don't think I'll be uploading it to YouTube as soon. So when eventually I will upload that live show to YouTube, but it'll probably be a while. So that people can kind of get that experience and enjoy getting to be here in person and have that once, that you had to be there moment.
Yeah, and also if you are international, let us know so they can get your link fixed if you're having problems and things like that.
If you're international, call the box office. That's what they told me to tell everybody. Okay. If you have any trouble, you call the box office. Any ticketing problems, to call the box office. They're very helpful. Everybody that I told to do that has been helped.
Okay, cool.
So just call the box office, and the number should be on their website. The virtual tickets are at the same link as the other tickets. So if you click the link in the show notes, it's right there. Like, here, you want virtual tickets or you want the, in-person tickets? It's right there, guys. So make sure you guys sign up. We want to have fun with you on that night. So make sure you guys take the time out to do that.
Yeah, we're excited. So looking forward to it.
Karen, do you have any banter?
I have plenty of it. I just been jotting shit down.
All right. We'll see how much of it we can do. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Banter. Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter. All right.
I'm going to start off with mine. We've been going to the Hornets game lately. We have a break, so they got a bunch of stuff happening at the Coliseum. And so we've kind of slowed down. But one of the last times, maybe not the last time, but one of the last few times we went, I found out that I was not alone in the scanning thing always catching me. Because one day I went and it was 4 of us over there. And one lady was like, it always flagged me. The next person was like, I was like, me too. So it was a collection of us that was it always flags us. And I was like, I feel like I did when it was TSA. I was like, is it my hair? Is it it is something that consistently flags people, and I don't know. It don't matter what I wear, no matter how tight it is, how loose it is. It don't matter how I wear my hair. It's like when I walk in there, it's something that picks up on that machine, and I have not figured it out yet. But I'm also glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, so it's also interesting because it's supposed to be a random scanner or something, but or maybe TSA says it's random, but it don't seem too random. It seems like it's always you. It's almost never me.
Never you.
And I don't know why it is either. But
I don't care no pocketbook. I take my phone with my little wallet on it. I just try to limit it. I was like, let's take the least amount of shit as possible. It's like, nope, you bitch.
Yeah, it's only a second, like 30 seconds to a minute in line, but it's just weird. Inflation is wild because what do you mean shit just gonna keep costing more forever? Who decided that? Like, who was the first person that just made some shit cost more than it used to, and then everybody else had to do it too?
Right.
It's like how I've turned my microphone upside down, and now Karen she spent 10 minutes before the show messing with her mic to get hers turned upside down.
I did.
Because she saw me do it. Is that how inflation works? Somebody was like, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I feel like my bread should be 6 cents. And then the person that sell eggs was like, well, fuck it. If you making 6 cents off of bread, I'm going to be selling eggs for 14 cents a dozen instead of 12. And next thing you know, we all are eternally fucked because that was back in the age of the dinosaurs or whatever the fuck. And they was just, bartering chickens for 2 eggs. But now the fucking eggs cost $12 and they gonna keep going up forever. That's what. Why is that everywhere? Is every country like this? Is every place in the world like this? You just
can't be. Like,
it used to be a time where the sandwich was $5, but just eternally it's gonna be $6. Is it landlord's fault? Who the fucking fault was it that was just like, you know what, man, turn this shit up, and now we're fucked with inflation forever? Karen.
How they be saying FAFO, like the fuck around and find out. I thought about, okay, now what are you gonna do since you found out what really matters? Like what are you gonna do? I thought about that. I was like, cause everybody's saying that. It's like, okay, great. Everybody's pointing fingers, but what are you gonna do?
For to find out?
Yeah, like everybody keeps saying that.
Well, I think it's implied in the phrase. You gonna stop fucking around. So I think we solved that one. That was an easy one.
Maybe not, cause
I mean that's what's implied by FAFO. Fuck around, find out. You find out, then you stop fucking around, right?
Yes, that's the point.
I mean, it's like your parents saying, "I'm gonna give you something to cry about." Then I would like to stop. I would not like something to cry about.
No, whatever you give me, I don't want.
I now realize what I was crying about obviously was not worth crying.
It was not. Apparently, it was not that goddamn important.
There's levels to this shit. I feel like I haven't heard the phrase. I feel like I haven't heard the phrase approval rating since Trump took office.
No, because it don't matter no more.
I'm not saying they're not doing the polls, because someone's gonna write in like a fucking idiot and be like, "What are you trying to say? That they do the presidential approval rating every week or some shit." I mean, it doesn't hit the zeitgeist.
Yes, the news not covering it.
You could not say Joe Biden's name without his approval rating coming up.
Right.
And I'm assuming that Trump's approval rating is probably still high and higher than Biden's. Like, I don't think it's down low. Like, I don't think any of the stuff he's doing is tanking his approval with the people that want him to do it.
Right.
And I think there's just like this double standard with Democrats where they're expected to actually be good at governing and make decisions that help everybody. Mm-hmm. So I think it's high, but it's kind of interesting that you don't see the discussion, even if it's high, just to be like, well, his approval rating is 53%, it's 57% or whatever. And if it's low, which eventually all presidents get to a low approval rating, it's also weird. It'll be weird if that's not discussed. It's like, yo, these decisions are not popular. But yeah, it's just interesting because I feel like approval rating was like a way of just constantly hectoring certain politicians, and it just don't seem like it matters with Trump. Like, we're not worried about any polls and opinions, mostly because we don't think he cares about, I don't think people care. I think people know he doesn't care about people's approval and pleasing any actual voters, just himself and his folks.
Of course. All right, I agree. We was outside and I saw someone smoking something out of a Sprite can. I did not know that was possible at all, that you could use a Sprite can to smoke drugs out of. I was like, oh, what's happening over there? Oh, okay. It's one of the things, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's probably meth.
That was not on my bingo card to see today.
Yeah, it was interesting because we were coming out of the Hornets game, which means there was a crowd of thousands of people walking through the area, and dude was just lighting up.
Man did not care.
And he looked methy, which is why I assume it's meth. Maybe it was crank, maybe it was something else, but he was just smoking meth out of a Sprite can, and God bless him. Times is hard.
How clear it is.
Remember when we had kid rappers who rapped about being kids?
Yes, about being, yeah.
Remember they used to be rapping about stuff like missing the bus,
the playground,
hanging out at the playground, trying to beat Shaq in basketball. Like, what happened to that?
That don't exist.
And I'm not talking about like Van, because Van's like a little kid.
Right.
I mean, there was a time when like you were 12 and your favorite rapper was 12.
Yes.
And they rapped about shit you needed to deal with, like a bully at school.
Or homework.
Yeah. Like, I don't, like, it's a snow day. Here's 16 bars about snow days. Things that were stressful to you, like handing a letter to your crush and hoping that she didn't throw it in the trash. That was a thing.
That was.
But now I feel like something happened in our lifetimes where our kids stop being entertained by kids. There's, like Kai Cenat is not a kid entertaining your kid. Like your kid's on Twitch or YouTube and they're watching like adults tell kids what to do and influence them. You got rappers who might be young, but they rap about grown up stuff like fucking and drugs and gang shit.
Yes.
But I wonder if at some point childhood sort of went away for kids in America, at least, with our cell phones and our social media and our streaming platforms and our internet. I feel like kids just became little adults.
They got introduced to a lot of shit very early and very quickly.
Yeah, and we're just like, go be an adult. Like, you're just
with an underdeveloped brain, okay?
You're just a small adult that needs to be entertained by adult things and less so. And of course, as adults, the things we grew up with us. So things that used to be relegated to just kids are not. So a video game is an adult thing and a kid thing now. When I was a kid, the video game was like, that's what your kids play. Yeah. And your parents, that's the thing they put on the shelf and tell you to do your homework. And now it's not like that. And I feel like it just made me think through this small thought about rappers. Are our kids not getting to be kids?
I can see that. And also a lot of spaces, I'm not talking about small children, a lot of spaces that were dedicated to children are gone. And a lot of parents actually bring their children everywhere with them now. And then get offended when you're like, hey, these spaces used to kind of be for adults where we could drink and cuss and have a good time. You bring you brought your child into an adult place that everybody in here knows is adults. We talk about adult shit. And then you want the adults to kind of adjust to your child being there, and it get bad when they say fuck your kid. You shouldn't have brought your kid here.
I think that's you talking as a bitter adult about kids. I don't think that's necessarily the same thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about even spaces for kids not being spaces for kids.
I can see that. Yes.
Like, think for example, Disney World, right? There's people that have the money that can afford to take their kids to Disney World. But you know what else is heavy at Disney World? Grown-ass adults who never got a chance to go to Disney World because it costs too fucking much.
Yes.
So now I'm in Disney World sharing a kid space and not having any deference for a kid. I always chuckle about it, but it is serious. When we go watch basketball games, it's kind of a mix of kids and adults. But to me, I feel like kids should get the deference in that space because that is a space for kids and the magic of sports and all the, not the jaded bullshit, like people yelling out gambling over and unders and shit. I hate that.
Me too.
But also, you know what happens in there a lot? You be cussing in front of them kids because to you, it's your space. I'm an adult and I'm here and I'm mad and I'm cussing and I don't like this and what's going on with that and I'm angry. And there's a kid sitting next to you. And that by happenstance, you being the adult, the space transfers to, it's an adult space now where I cuss and the kids just need to get used to people cussing around them. I think we don't see kids like kids. I think there's something
yeah.
good about us like, I'm not talking like, so that's why I wanted to make a distinction. I'm not talking about a kid coming into a bar. I'm saying like,
that's what I was talking about. Yes,
there used to be an understanding of like, a kid is in this space, let's all adjust to the fact that that's a kid.
Yeah.
And I think something was lost, and like, kids needed their own entertainment, like, not just your Cartoon Networks, but just like, there was a space of like, nah, there should be an act for kids. You know, like, you know, we kind of lost boy bands. We licensed that out to fucking Korea or whatever. Like, there's just something, and it feels very American.
Yes.
But there's just something about, like, kids are not thought of as a priority, and the only time you really see people bring up kids and protecting kids seems to be this like control valve of like, you got gay people on TV in front of my kids, and I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about.
No,
that's just some bullshit. I'm talking about like, we don't have a crisscross. We don't have another bad creation. We don't have a Kuo. When's the last time y'all thought about Kuo? We don't have, like, we just don't have it. And I don't think it's because I'm out of the loop. Like, I don't think this is a thing where it's like, old man Rod doesn't know what the kids are into. I think the kids are into Sexy Red. Yes. I think the kids are into Kendrick Lamar. I think the kids are into Megan Thee Stallion. Like, and I'm not, once again, I'm not judging those acts. Where are the kids supposed to go?
Yes,
like, of course your kid likes Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not judging Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not judging the kids, and I'm not judging the parents necessarily. I'm just saying it's weird that the entertainment industry just sort of let that thing go. Like, I think there's probably still TV shows you can feel comfortable for kids, but they're mostly streaming now.
Right.
But yeah, it just feels like something happened. Anyway, that was my thought.
I can and I can see that, because like you say, there used to be places like dedicated, and it would not be surprising if the pandemic killed those spaces and they never came back. You know, like with the pandemic and everybody was kind of that isolation and everybody being separated. Nobody ever brought those things back, and everybody was like, well, they're not there. And they kind of, you know, because depending on what it is, it costs money. So parents like, shit, I can save money not doing this bullshit. So fuck it, you know, and type of thing.
And with kids, with parents being more protective, let's say protective.
Yes.
With parents being more protective now, I bet that's part of it too.
Yes.
Because like, you're tracking your kid, you're monitoring your kid's around you all the time.
Yes.
There's less of the like going out to play at the park. That you can't have a latchkey kid. You can't have a kid that rides a bike up the street without, you know, like,
they got to be in your sight at all times. Yes.
So like, kids probably, because of that, don't get to be around other kids and need to do kid shit with kids. So now they kind of have to quasi do adult shit with parents, and parents have to do kid shit. And I think, especially when you think about our entertainment, a lot of it can be shared. Like, I want to see a Marvel movie. My kid wants to see a Marvel movie. That's a perfectly good thing for us to hang out together, right? But there used to be a time when if I was a kid and I wanted to see something like that, my mom was like, go to the movies, get you a friend. I'll drive y'all to the movies. I'll drop y'all off. I'll pick you up.
Yes.
Like, this is your thing. This is not your me thing. I'm an adult. You know what my thing is? You not being around for a couple hours.
and
that's gonna be
break.
The favorite movie of mine is this nap I'm about to take or whatever.
Right, while you gone.
And it just seemed like that shit went away. And like I said, it took me down this rabbit hole, and talking to you is taking me further down it. But I was just like, damn, we don't have I missed the bus. Like, and it would change, because like, what are the kids gonna be rapping about now? It's probably gonna be like, you didn't like my Instagram back, or you know what I mean? Like, you unfollowed
my DoorDash was late.
Yeah, you unfollowed me or something like that, because, you know, life is different.
Yes.
For what these kids go through. You know, I accidentally left my Zoom camera on or something. But the point is, like, at least there used to be a thing that kids could have, and now it's all, you know, kind of gone. But do another one.
I found a place. I remember before how I used to complain about Bojangles not having Patio Red. We found a place.
Patio Red Cherry.
Patio Red Cherry. We found a place with the Patio Red, so I'm excited. I get to drink it now at the Casca's place.
Oh yeah, Casca's Kitchen.
So I found a place for the Patio Red because I was like, R.I.P. Patio Red, because you couldn't find that shit nowhere. I was like, I only knew Bojangles selling it.
Once Bojangles stopped carrying it, it really did go downhill. You keep going.
Oh, okay. Went to the game, went to one of the games with your mom when you were out of town on that Friday night. We had a ball. Like, we had a great time. And y'all, they gave out these, I call them sticks, but they like balloon sticks, and they like noise makers that you beat them together, and they make noise for like when the opposing team shoots free throws, you like beat the sticks and stuff kind of as a distraction.
They're called thunder sticks.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what they was called. I just call them sticks.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And me and your mom got some, and we were beating them things. I love them things. They are pointless, and they are 100% designed for children. They don't do nothing but just fucking make racket. And every time we get them, I beat them shits and just make noise for no reason. And me and your mama got them, and we beat them shits and had a ball at that game. We had a great time.
I don't understand. Why is that just for my mom? We get the thunder sticks, and I beat them too.
I know, but
nah, there's an implication in you singling out her like I don't do it. I do it. I beat the sticks. I be into it. I gave you one of my sticks when your stick deflated last time, and we was doing triple sticks, and I said, and I got them to miss when I did the triple sticks thing with you. I was like, we should just do this.
You did.
I was into it. I'm fun to go to games with too.
You are. I love going to the games with you.
Yeah, whatever. What's the next one?
I'm sorry.
You're not low. You're not low. Just go ahead, go to the next one. It's fine.
I'm sorry that didn't.
Maybe I should take some other people to some games and then just come back and be like, they actually know how to have fun.
No.
They know how to do the sticks.
No.
You know how difficult it is to hit two sticks together. No one on earth can do that.
Because sometimes I think I be overly excited. I'm so sorry. So I'm like.
I never judged you. I never make you calm down. Never said you overly excited. I'll be excited. I hit the sticks. It's very interesting, your choices. Go ahead. What's the next one?
My choices. Oh, I got me some shoes. And a lot of times when you buy shoes and they have like, they're not rubber, but they kind of like that cloth material. When it rains, your feet get wet. So I got some shoes that were like kind of waterproof, and I wore them to that game because it rained that night. I went to the game with your mama, and that actually worked. I was shocked. I was like, oh shit, waterproofing.
What is the brand? Because someone's gonna want to know the brand.
Flux, F-A-F-L-U-X, Flux.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
If you're gonna write in about that, guys. There you go.
I wrote them down just so I wouldn't forget it.
Good job.
I thought about it. I was like,
starting to anticipate this banter thing.
Somebody gonna ask. You might want to write this down, Karen. so I'm prepared today. I was going down 77. I think I was going to the doctor's office somewhere, and I saw a car with no hood. Like the
roof of it, you mean? Or the hood of the
hood of the where the engine part was completely gone, flying down 77, but you could see the straps flapping that used to hold it, and I couldn't see the tag. But in my mind, I'm like, this car got to be from South Carolina, because North Carolina, South Carolina, right at the border. South Carolina don't have inspections, like ever, never, ever. So them cars be in all types of conditions. They be crossing the line with pollution and shit. So I was like,
that's some Mad Max shit.
Yeah, because I was like, North Carolina, they would be like, if you don't get this motherfucking car off the street, no, you can't drive this car. No, we refuse to pass inspection.
I know you thought it was a boring movie, but that's like straight out of Mad Max. I know it wasn't gory enough for you, but was someone on the roof playing a guitar?
Oh, that's the only thing that would have made it better.
With a ball gag in his mask.
going back and forth, swinging on sticks.
Right. That's crazy.
I was like, I was so confused, because at first I seen it, and I was like, because sometimes you see stuff, and sometimes it'd be like, you know how people make like specialty design cars? That's what I thought it was at first. Then I kept looking, I was like,
it was specially designed. They ain't have enough money to fix the fucking hood on the engine.
No, they did not.
So
they was like, fuck it, the bitch runs. I was like, well, if it runs, You ain't going nowhere, baby.
You gotta worry about it overheating.
You definitely ain't got to worry about it overheating at all. And I got some more, but my last one I'm gonna do is for those of you that watch like anime and animation, I watch a lot of isekai, and a lot of times in isekais, in animations where they do dungeons and things like this, they have something called like an item box, and an item box is like something that kind of magically comes out of nowhere, and you can just place shit in it. You can place all types of shit in, and I was like, I would love to have that in real life, just an item box. You know, just when you get a bunch of groceries and you don't feel like carrying them shits, you can just pull out your item box, put the shit in your item box, put it in your back pocket, and then take it to your destination, and then just open it up and pull the items out of the
like
item
a video
box.
game. Yeah.
Yes. I would really like if you could have an item box in real life. It would just save people
I think it's called
time.
a purse.
Bigger than
pockets.
Nope, bigger than that.
That's all we got.
Yeah, that's what I said. You could take the item box and put it in those things, so you can carry more things.
Like you mean? I know what you mean. A magical box that is infinite and all that stuff and portable. I get it.
I would like that. That's it for me. I got more, but I'll stop there.
All right. Well, thank you for that banter, Karen.
Thank you.
I think that was quite enjoyable.
I'm glad y'all enjoyed it and let me do my thing.
Let's get into another segment. I guess we should talk about this motherfucker Trump. All right, let's get to some of this political news. The White House says that the judges who are stopping these Trump executive orders and rulings are causing a constitutional crisis and trying to label them as activist judges. We believe these judges are acting as judicial activists rather than honest arbiters of the law. She said that her name is Leavitt, Caroline Leavitt, who, if I'm not mistaken, or Levitt maybe, but whatever. If I'm not mistaken, I think she got a weird case about, her security clearance is fucking weird. But anyway, this is what they do, right? So basically, if it doesn't go their way, that's an activist judge.
Right.
And this is one of the things that I'm going to explain to the audience, and because there's a knee-jerk reaction some people are having hearing this, and I'm going to explain to them why I think that is stupid. Okay. So what you're hearing is, well, damn, Biden and them had passed all kinds of stuff, and then the judges struck it down. And he never attacked those judges personally and called them activist judges and all that stuff. And why can't we be more like Republicans? Why can't we do the same thing? Why Biden should have had his press secretary come out there and start calling people activist judges and targeting them in the media. The reason that they can't do that is because our side, and I mean the voters, would not have that.
Nope, they flip out.
Because it is expected of Trump and because his side does not care, they can do stuff like this. They can have this woman who has a weird security clearance issue where she's not even really passing the security test. They can have her be the press secretary and come out here and say something as ridiculous as this. And it's just seen as news.
Right.
Like, this is the AP. The AP isn't going to admonish her. They're not going to pick a side. They're
not going to question it.
Yeah, they're not going to say, well, that's ridiculous. You know, they're just going to be like, well, that's what she said. We're just reporting the news. And they don't want to lose access for that. So
right, because the second you actually try to actually be like, hey, we're going to have some integrity, they're going to be like, you can no longer be here.
Yeah. So now Senator Mike Lee, a Utah Republican, said he's working on legislation to limit the ability of lower-ranking judges to issue nationwide blocks on presidential actions. Things that no one was going to do when it was Democrats in office, and things that with the Republicans having the numbers they have, you wouldn't have been able to pass anyway. So like, if they would have passed something to say, hey, lower level judges should not be able to stop the Trump documents case, they shouldn't be able to hold it up in court and stall. The Democrats never had the numbers to pass that kind of legislation in the first place.
Agreed.
So it's just interesting when you install the judges that you want, the ones that you didn't install who are like, I'm going to fight against this, all of a sudden they become public enemies. They become targeted. You know, it did bother me a little bit. This isn't a administration thing. It's just a people thing. But I used to listen to podcasts and they would cover these like rigged ass Trump judges fucking shit up. And there was always this like assumption of like, they're trying to do a good job, but they just happen to be fucking it up a little bit. Or they just don't understand how they're fucking up. And I always thought that was interesting. Because why are you giving them that?
Right. They're too smart. No, they know what they're doing. They're not stupid.
Like how many times I think it was Eileen Cannon or whatever, like how many times she got to do something before you just be like, no, she's in the bag for Trump and she's fucked up.
Yep.
Like I don't know why you think you're doing her the favor of being, this is not impartial what she's doing, so you don't need to be impartial. You're not being impartial by denying that she is being impartial.
Agreed.
You know, like you're just calling what happened. But anyway, I thought that was interesting that, you know, now the judges are activist judges because they don't like that shit.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of these judges are judges that Biden and Obama put in office. So,
right.
You know, the shit matters. And
there's a lot of Trump judges. He appointed so many judges that this stuff will get to a Trump judge eventually.
Yes, it will, because he did it the first time and he's doing it again.
And of course, the Supreme Court is the most appointed Trump judges. So like, if all this stuff is just escalating up to a point where they want to get to the Supreme Court, and then they can go, told you, you know, like, do what we told you to do.
Right, and that's the whole point, because that's the way it's designed. And you know, and when you tell people that numbers matter and you just can't do shit without numbers, everybody want to act like you're crazy, but you like, y'all, this is just how the government works, and you don't want to accept the reality of that. You rather just blame the people who actually don't have the power to do shit other than put up signs and protest. Like, they're doing that.
Do what you do, but just if you're listening to our show, I feel a little bit of obligation to stop you from being stupid and writing in and saying some dumb shit that I'm gonna be like, nah, you know. And so I'm just telling you why when you go, Democrats need to grow a spine and do. I'm telling you why. You don't have a spine. You don't let them be wrong. You don't even let them be a little bit more conservative than you like without bitching about it.
Right.
So I know you're not finna let them be literally corrupt and target judges in public, and y'all be like, that's my Biden. You didn't want Biden to pardon his own son. You thought it was a gotcha moment when he was like, I'm not letting you send my son to jail because you don't like me. You thought you got him on something. You thought you morally compromised him. You think I should give a fuck. You care that the Obamas got a book deal. You care that you know, you care that when Biden pardoned all those other people that even though you demanded he should, if you're gonna pardon the son, you should pardon all, but when he pardoned all those other people, you're like, that's not good enough too. So like, we're not fighting a fair fight, okay? This is not fair. Our side wouldn't let being better for Palestine be good enough. Then we'll let the guy who's going to turn into glass in the office. That's our side. So I have to be realistic about our side and say I don't think Democrats can be tough because we're not willing to be tough too and be like, you know what, I'm gonna sit through this with you. You ain't got to be perfect. Just get the job done. And so I think that's why this kind of stuff will only happen under Trump. Now, a judge did clear the way for Trump's plan to downsize the federal workforce with the deferred resignation program. So I know they had a string of courtroom setbacks, but they just had this significant legal victory. There's no immediate response from labor unions that had sued over his plan. But District Judge George O'Toole Jr. in Boston found that the unions didn't have legal standing to challenge the program. Trump wants to use financial incentives to encourage government employees to quit. According to the White House, tens of thousands of workers have taken the government up on this offer. The deferred resignation program has been spearheaded by Elon Musk, who is serving as Trump's top advisor for reducing federal spending. Under the plan, employees can stop working and get paid until September 30th. Labor unions argued the plan is illegal and asked for O2 to keep it on hold and prevent the Office of Personnel Management from soliciting more workers to sign up.
Right. This shit is illegal. Elon Musk is not a goddamn elected official. He's not elected.
Right.
Nobody cast a vote for fucking Elon Musk. So how is this legal? How, Sway?
Because he paid for it. He paid for Trump's campaign. And he paid for access to the White House. And I think where I find my anger is not in, it's not necessarily in, my anger comes with the people that say like, well, this billionaire donated to Democrats. They need to stop being in the pocket of billionaires. Donald Trump is literally in the pocket of a billionaire. He's doing it right in your face, and you are quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going, damn, ain't that something?
Ain't that a shame? Right.
That's what you're doing. This was supposed to be a non-starter. If this is an issue with the American people, how did this even happen? This isn't an issue. This isn't a real problem that people care about. It's just a problem that eggheads tell themselves people care about. Mm-hmm. The truth of the matter is the reason that this election it came down to what it came down to is just racism.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
It's not more complicated. It's not smarter than that. Even if you try to measure into these other reasons like the economy or anger over whatever, I'm telling you, even when you balance out for that, it's still going to come down to racism. Mm-hmm. You know, I was reading that The Cruelty is the Point. I was reading a part of a chapter today. And one of the lines that really stuck out to me was anger is associated with racism, even if the anger isn't about race. But that's not something I would have assumed, and it's definitely not something I knew. And I don't think it's for everybody. But I think just what I'm saying is like if you just say someone is mad, like I'm a politician and I'm angry, and in America, it stokes something racial, especially in white folks, even liberal white folks. You know, I think that's why the Bernie bro contingent turned so many black people off, and no one to this day has been able to articulate why were they racist? Because they're supposed to be on our side with Democrats. Black people are down.
Right.
But they got mad at black people, started calling the establishment, got mad at John Lewis. Like, they got very upset that black people didn't fall in line with no demands, no questions, no answers.
Right.
Just shut the fuck up and do what we told you. We're trying to help you. Can't you see that? And it's because I think Bernie Sanders is an anger mascot. He's for angry people, right?
Agreed.
You're angry over the economy. You're angry over whatever, the big corporation, the 1%. I'm not saying you shouldn't be angry. But it is weird that it took it to a racial place for a certain constituency of white folks, and it ended up being a racial divide. Bernie lost because he could never win black people.
Agreed.
Bernie could never win black people because a lot of his movement was predicated on anger, and anger ends up with people saying shit like, including Bernie Sanders, I don't want all this identity. I'm tired of identity politics.
My whole life is an identity.
Well,
so.
you're over here in the Democratic coalition.
Right.
Everybody's politics over here is identity politics except for white men.
Right.
Every single person in this party is an identity politics person. Women are here because they're women and they want rights for their bodies. Yes, they're economic issues, but they're also civil rights issues. That's their identity. Black people, brown people, immigrants, different minorities of religion. Like, so, but I didn't know that. Reading that really illuminated something for me today, or the other day when I read it, because I was like, oh, that's wild. You can't get angry without it turning a little bit into race, even by mistake, even just unintentionally.
Even in error, and because they're like that, they assume that our rage is the same.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. And I mean, I'm not even saying it's completely different. I'm sure there's some black people that get mad. I mean, we've seen them. There's black people that get mad and all of a sudden they talking bad about Mexicans or something. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not even what the topic was.
Right.
You know, Dave Chappelle and people that defend him and people that don't understand why I don't like some of the stuff that Dave Chappelle and these brothers talk about, whenever I question their logic, they go to anger. Every single time. If I say, but I don't understand why you're mad at gay people or trans people or whatever, they'll be like, well, black people have had it so hard for so long, and then and you telling me it's the same as a trans person? I'm like, there's an anger coming from you.
Yes.
And the anger and the bigotry go along with each other, even when you're not articulating like a specific level of bigotry.
Right.
The anger just emboldens you to turn off that part of your brain that I'm trying to touch, the empathy part. The part of you, though, I'm like, right, but I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just saying it's hard. Why would we want to make it harder for anybody? We understand what undue hardship does. Why would I want
how it impacts people?
Why would I want black women in my community to have anything harder because I've had it hard? That doesn't make sense to me. Well, as a black man, it's so much harder than I didn't say. I'm not talking about who's playing the game on all Madden versus Madden. I'm just saying why can't we connect in that area where we can see each other? But anyway, Tulsi Gabbard got confirmed by as a nation's top intelligence chief, a person that's been accused of being a literal spy and being on the take for different foreign countries and stuff.
Of course she did.
She's been considered a foreign asset, and I knew people that fell for it. That I don't know why they fell for it. I don't want to reduce it to just they thought she was hot, but I can't think of any fucking reason, because she never was a good candidate. When she ran for president. She never was a good candidate when she moved over to being a Republican and all this stuff. And of course, she passed 52 to 48, so it doesn't really fucking matter anyway. Because at the end of the day, no matter what Republicans question, they're going to end up voting for her. That's, you can't trust it. I think Mitch McConnell's the only one that voted against her. The only GOP person that voted no. So yeah, they are putting the wolves in charge of the chicken coop.
And they're going to eat up all the chickens.
Yep. A judge ordered Health and Human Services, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and Food and Drug Administration to restore web pages and data that had been removed in compliance with President Trump's executive order on gender ideology. So they took down these websites because Trump sent them a directive.
They were taking them pages down left and right. They was like, you can't do that.
U.S. District Judge John Bates said no. Here's another thing that I think is interesting. So what we'll hear is stuff like, I just want to see people fight back. I want to see Democrats fight back. I want to see this, that, and the other. I need y'all to understand something. This is part of what the fight back is going to look like. So Trump is going to blitz you with 27 executive orders on a Monday. And what you won't notice is 25 of them have been not just struck down, but held, countered. People have said things. But it won't feel that way because it's not immediate. Because they're reacting since they're not in the driver's seat anymore. And you can't really be proactive with the numbers they have.
Agreed.
So it's going to look like you're always reacting to some shit because he's always putting shit out to be reacted to.
Yep.
But this is what it looks like. It's not sexy that, 8 days later, a week later, 2 weeks later, we get hey, a judge said put the websites back.
And they knew that.
But when the websites went down though, how often did y'all see that on your timelines, on your news alerts, on the breaking news scroll on your TV? How often did you see the home Department of Health and Human Services takes down LGBTQ page? You're hearing this here. You're not gonna see this on MSNBC on a loop. Because they've moved on to the next bullshit he did.
Right.
So this is what people are fighting back. It's never going to feel right because it's not a fair one-to-one fight. So anyway, I think that's good news. But it for what it's worth, it's still a very symbolic thing. But at this point, a lot of the fight is symbols.
Yeah, and that's all it's going to be for right now.
Yeah, at this point, a lot of the stuff is symbols, and you just got to decide how you feel about that. Let's see. Trump revoked Biden's security clearance, citing payback for 2021 decision. There's no need for Joe Biden to continue receiving access to classified information. Therefore, we are immediately revoking Joe Biden's security clearance and stopping his daily intelligence briefing. Trump wrote, he set this precedent in 2021 when he instructed the intelligence community to stop the 45th president of the United States, me, in parentheses, from accessing details of national security and the courtesy provided to former presidents. Meanwhile, he was a whole ass op. So
yeah, and on top of that, it's certain shit that the former president can't get access to anyway. Like, you're not gonna get everything.
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's not, to me, that's not the point that matters.
Right.
Trump didn't get those briefings because he was a fucking security risk. It wasn't like it wasn't petty. He did, like, Joe Biden didn't just wake up and go, man, fuck Trump today. It was, you're holding documents in your fucking Mar-a-Lago bathroom. We're having security leaks. You have connections to foreign intelligence. These are not petty decisions I made. These are decisions I made for the good of the country. And the country decided, no, put him back in office. Put him back in office. No, we haven't learned our lesson yet. We want more Trump. And so would Trump go, yeah, that was fair what he did? No, Trump's a petty, vindictive person who will do it. I know, in a petty, vindictive way. And for the record, when Biden did this, I still remember people discussing it like it might have been some petty, vindictive shit, like Trump wasn't a security risk. Like, they're still like, did Joe Biden overstep with this? And it's like, you know he didn't.
Right. But why are we pretending?
But because of that false objectivity, Trump and get people like that feast on that, and they go, yeah, it's the same thing they did to me. But it's really not, though. He also talked with Vladimir Putin and said that they have begun negotiations to end the war in Ukraine, which basically means President Zelensky and Ukraine are fucked.
Yeah, it does.
And y'all knew this was going to happen. Some of y'all some people, I say y'all, but some people wanted this. And I say they wanted this because I saw, especially a lot of black blogs, always posting like anytime any foreign aid was approved for Ukraine to help fight Russia, they would be like, this amount of money went to Ukraine, but eggs cost $6 or whatever. And they were two unrelated things, but it was poisoning the well of black support. And I'm sure the black people weren't the only ones doing it, but this is where I saw it. It was using that false equivalency to poison the well, to be like, this money should stay in America. And that is kind of what Trump and them will use to embolden these dictators to take over places, is basically go, hey, Americans, let's be selfish right now. We're isolationists. We should just keep all our money, and we don't need to help these people. Meanwhile, I'm raising your taxes, and me and Elon Musk are cutting out of government funding and government agents for people who live here too. So for all of you that are like, it's fucked up, FEMA only gave people this much money, but they sent money to Ukraine. They're getting rid of FEMA, so you'll be getting zero FEMA dollars.
You get zero.
And
next
also,
hurricane, next wildfire.
And also the money won't be going to Ukraine. So I guess this is winning. So much winning. So much feeling great again.
Right. And also it's one of those things where we are all connected. Ukraine going down is going to have a fucking great ass impact. People underestimate what's getting ready to happen. Wars are getting ready to happen because it's not going to stop with Ukraine. He's going to go and kind of invade other places in the area too. And Trump is fucking it up so bad here that he might turn around and be like, hey, I want that shit too. And guess what? We ain't gonna have shit. We gonna be so fucking bankrupt and goddamn broke. We're not even gonna be able to fucking defend ourselves. The fuck is happening here?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think they're raiding the treasury right now. And none of this stuff is gonna help American people. None of this is about balancing the budget or the economy or saving jobs. I really don't believe them. But yeah, he's also like got the DOJ targeting like Letitia James and some of the other prosecutors that like tried to hold him accountable. Inflation has gotten worse for 4 months now. So I know he said he was coming in, he's gonna fix inflation right away, and eggs prices are gonna go back down, and that's not happening. So yeah, it's just, it's a total shit show. on purpose. George Lopez slams Hollywood for silence on Trump's mass deportation policies. Listen, between this shit and Palestine, I'm not trying to be a dick about this. There's no joy in my heart about this. I'm actually very livid and sad about it. Mm-hmm. But this story and the next story, pro-Trump Arab American group changes its name from Arabs for Trump to Arabs for Peace. After Trump's comments where he talked about how Gaza would make good like land for United States to own. It was good Riviera property. And he's encouraging Bibi Netanyahu to actually, if he wants to like rescind the ceasefire, that's fine. He's taking all sanctions off of weapons. That's right, guys. No one told you this. There was actually some sanctions on some of the weapons that they were providing because the United States was trying to get that ceasefire to go. So all of that said, I don't feel joy. I feel maybe some level of anger, some level of vindication, but there's no happiness in it.
None.
Because, yeah, George Lopez, they're not talking about immigration. The time to talk about that was before November when you had something that you could do about it.
I agree.
Right now, you don't have nothing to do about it. And honestly, a lot of this shit seems like they wanted to stub their fingers in your eyes just to, like, spite you and be like, yeah, we do want immigrants and your suffering. They laughed at, I forget her name now, but the actress last week that cried. They laughed at her. They mocked her. A Republican politician said he would like to see her get deported.
Selena Gomez, thank you.
Thank you. The cruelty is the point.
The cruelty is the point.
And changing your name from, the uncommitted or the Arabs for Trump or whatever, it doesn't change anything. Because at the end of the day, now that he's in office, you're done. You're not protesting. You're not marching. You're not trying to become a constituency in his ear. You're not saying, hey, win our vote by doing this action or that. You're done. You're no longer viable. You were useful in that you helped him to gain power. And in any other way, he will never consider you. You're not special, meaning that I feel he's the same way with his white voters. There is no giving back. There is no thank you coming. And if anything, it has just sped up something and exacerbated something, and it has made it worse. And if you can't handle that, then if you can't handle the fact that that is a truth, then I don't know what the fuck you were protesting for in the first place.
Agreed. And it was very, very, for me, it was very, very frustrating when you had a candidate in Kamala Harris and even Joe Biden that would actually listen to you and actually took you seriously and would be like, yes, if you want these things to continue to be at the forefront, vote for me. And things like that. When people were saying, hey, y'all, it's fucked up what's happening over there. If you want these things that you claim you want, Trump ain't it. There's nothing on Trump's agenda that's going to make the things that you claim that matters. There are some people that were truly genuine about the protesting and the things they were upset about. But it was bots, and it was a large percentage of people that were in it because it was a fad. And the second it became no longer a fad, they left the cause.
Yep. So, I mean, like I said, I know I've seen the people dunking on them. I've seen the people mocking them and talking shit about them and all that stuff. I'm not going to participate in that just because I just feel like what will even be the point? And it's not because I'm trying to convince them, you need to come to our side. I just really think, the other thing I think is seeing some of the commentary from the people who helped to bring this Trump thing to fruition. I don't think they would change a single action or take any level of responsibility, which is how you end up here. Like, there was an action you had to mitigate, you chose not to because you need to remain ideologically pure.
Right.
And now that these things you claim to have wanted are coming to fruition, you abscond from responsibility.
Agreed.
You think you be walking around like, yeah, we did put Trump in office. We made that happen. But instead they're being like, I had nothing to do with this. And I'm like, okay, so then it's nobody's fault. We can move on. But yeah, it is interesting watching people kind of like walk away from this. David Schwimmer from Friends calls on Elon Musk to ban Kanye West from Twitter because Kanye West was tweeting some anti-Semitic stuff. He says silence is complicity.
Oh, he's not going to do that. Not on his platform.
Karen. Elon Musk did a Hitler salute during a Trump speech.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk did that. Now, why the fuck do you think he would be like, yeah, Kanye West, what's going on with all this Nazi stuff? What are we? Am I stupid? Am I motherfucking dumb, dog? He team Nazi. Like, what? David Schwimmer, have you just not paid attention to anything?
Right.
Like, Elon Musk is campaigning for like neo-Nazi type parties in other countries. Like, this dude he one of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I just can't believe. It's like if you're watching Space Jam and you're going, hey, one of the Monstars, you just gonna let your teammate flagrantly foul me?
Of course we are.
Yes, nigga. I am team flagrant foul. We the Monstars.
That's what we do.
Kanye running point. What are you talking about? I'm the power forward. I'm
on the team. What are we saying here? I'm not going to go against my teammate.
Yeah. I also thought this was highly ironic that the I think it's the ADL. I think that's what they're called. Anti-Defamation League. They stand up for Jewish people and they're against anti-Semitism and stuff.
Okay.
So when Elon Musk did the Nazi salute, they tweeted out that now is a time for understanding and patience, and we don't, it's a very precarious time and we don't want to say anybody's doing anything that they don't, blah, blah, blah. And of course, rightfully so, everybody's like, he's doing the Hitler salute. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. Ain't that the whole thing? Ain't that your whole ass organization?
Right. Like, why are you telling us to calm down? Bitch, get to work. This is what the fuck y'all do.
Y'all do. It's in the name.
Right. This like the fire department looking at an arsonist and being like, hey, let's all calm down. They just setting a few fires, but they might have been maybe it was cold inside. Maybe they was trying to warm up everybody. So the ADL was like, Kanye West, there's zero tolerance. There's no place for this. And everybody was on their ass on Twitter like,
yes, be consistent.
Right. Like, now, and like, I really hate to lend any credence to this, but I have to. Because I don't see how you can get a better counterfactual than this. This is like when they went in on Kyrie Irving, and I remember telling my fellow black folks, like, yeah, but Kyrie is fucking up, liking that documentary and all that shit. And I get it. They're like, hey, don't do that. And they were like, yeah, but they wouldn't treat everybody like that. Part of the reason they're doing that is because Kyrie's black. And I'm like, but he was fucking around with some anti-Semitic shit. How can you even feel that way? I apologize. I was wrong. It's really two sets of rules with this anti-Semitism for them.
Right. I thought,
when it's a black person, they got to get out the paint, zero tolerance. We don't want to hear a fucking thing they got to say. When it's Elon Musk doing it from the presidential stage, which is a much more impactful, influential, and dangerous set of circumstances compared to some fucking NBA player who won't play because he's not vaccinated. When that guy is doing that and you're telling me to calm down, we need to understand. But Kyrie Irving watched the documentary. We don't even know if he watched it, to be honest, but he let us know there was a documentary on Amazon that was zero tolerance. The rantings of a literal madman who is in bipolar mania and Kanye West who none of us takes seriously, that's zero tolerance. But Elon Musk, the real president, we need to have some understanding. Fuck out of here, bro.
Agreed. My thing is, maybe I didn't get the update on the firmware because Apple Care told me that if y'all come after us, it's never forget. We don't give a fuck who is doing it. We were like, no, we're not putting up with it. It don't matter who do it. But apparently, that's not the case.
Right. Like they went out there, they went out to Jamie Foxx.
Yes, they did, and he was like, "Y'all know that's not what I meant," and he apologized too.
Yeah, like it's like I really hate to be like that because I don't think there should be levels to like, hey man, this is fucked up, but I'm black, so you can't call me out on it because I don't do that.
Me either.
But I definitely do notice when someone's like it's. Black people can't fuck up, but this white guy, that's different. Yeah. Nah, man. A Nazi salute and you telling me it's a different way to look at it? Get out of here.
Yeah, and it's also, one of those things where because of their proximity to whiteness, and here in this country, you're considered white. So for a lot of, even though you're not, for a lot of them, depending on where they are and their status and all that stuff, that white supremacy seeps into them too, to where they view these things like that when they shouldn't. If you're gonna be consistent on you and your people, be consistent.
Yeah, and I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know if they're trying to get political favor. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough for me to know all that. But I definitely know that they were saying this is a delicate moment in a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and work together toward unity in the months and years ahead.
Right. What happened to never again? What happened to no
Why
tolerance?
are you playing in my face?
Right. Like I didn't see what I saw.
Stop playing in my face, man.
Don't act like I'm tasting lead. I'm not crazy. I know what I saw.
Tasting lead is good. I like that. All right, let's get out of this. Okay, that's bad enough. But let's move into some other news. Let's do a little bit of just regular news.
Listen. Listen. For those I want you to, you see. For those I want you to, for those I want you to, you see. For those I want you to, you see. You see.
I really enjoyed that tasting lead. That's new.
That's probably not the phrase, but that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Well, I think it's tasting pennies.
Okay.
But I think tasting lead is better because lead it's better for a lot of reasons. But yeah, also 100 for fucking with black people, right?
Yes.
A little bit of Kendrick Lamar Drake news. So there was a halftime dancer who pulled out a flag that said like "Free Palestine" or something on it. Or the word like Gaza was on the Palestinian flag as part of a protest. Now, this was a person they didn't trespass. It wasn't a fan who ran on the field. They were a backup dancer. They were part of like practicing for weeks for the Super Bowl.
Wow. But
it was on their heart to protest and to like stand up and say like, this is wrong. And I want to let people know that this is wrong. And I'm not against it. I ain't mad at it at all. I know some people was mad at it. I did make a joke about it, was like, I hope he didn't do all this and not vote, just stop.
You better have voted.
That was just like a funny thing to say, but somebody was like, this not it. And I'm like, nigga, I'm the funny person. You're not. Pretty sure this is it. That's pretty funny. You don't got to agree with the joke for it to be a funny joke.
Agreed.
But yeah, But standing up for the cause, protesting, like, shout out to him for using the platform they had to do this. Now, once again, I'm not really a symbolism person when it comes to my politics, and I prefer power. I prefer someone to be in office. I'm down, protest, do your thing. I'm not mad at you, but symbolism means a lot more to me when there's something that can be done to help. Right now,
Agreed.
I feel like we put Gaza and Palestine in the worst possible predicament of all the predicaments, and the protest means nothing to Donald Trump, who sat there and watched it. It won't change his heart. It won't change anyone's administration's heart.
It did not move him or anything. And the thing is, the thing about symbolism, like you said, it don't matter when it don't have strength, and it don't matter when it can't really do anything. And some people are the loudest when they don't have no power. And you're like, where were you before?
Well, I'm not gonna say that about these people, because I think they were there before then. They've been here the whole time. If anything, I feel like you can't have it both ways and be like, where y'all at now? Because that's what we said earlier, right? Like, a lot of y'all not marching no more. This person put it out there. They said, I still do give a fuck.
They kept that same energy.
I don't care if Donald Trump is watching. So I'm not gonna denigrate this person. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm not annoyed by them. I think what they did was actually quite fucking brave, to be honest. So brave, they got detained at the Super Bowl stadium, and they ended up being let go. But when they were detained, the NFL or the police put out the statement saying, like, they're looking to see what they can charge them with. And I found that interesting because there isn't anything you can charge them with. They didn't do anything illegal. They did something you don't like.
Right.
But, like, if Kendrick would have held that sign up, you can't just put him in jail. That's actually against freedom of speech.
Right.
They didn't trespass on the stage. They had every right to be there. Now, look, if I'm Kendrick, I might be mad that I put on this show this whole time and you went rogue on me.
Right. I didn't know that. Yes.
But that's less about agreeing with the stance, and that's more just like, damn, man, like, what if everybody did that? It would have fucked up the whole Super Bowl.
Right.
But it also would have made a hell of a statement. Also, I wouldn't put it past Kendrick to be like, do that shit. But but yeah, I thought it was interesting that they detained this person looking for a charge, and they won't face charges. They won't, like, but there's nothing to charge them with.
Agreed. And to go back to what I was saying before about sometimes people don't allow us when they don't have no power, and less about this person and sometimes more about some of the things you see online. I feel that way because we were talking about this person. Yes.
So I had to point out, like, for this person, I don't feel that way.
I agree.
Like, I think what they did was pretty fucking dope and very brave, and most of us wouldn't have done that shit.
I know.
And I'm glad they won't have to face charges, because I really do think that's a waste of everybody's time. Because nothing's going to change because they did that, but still, I'm glad they did it. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl was a record breaker. It was like the most watched of all time.
Yeah, let's go.
Which is so funny. The viewers, so the actual Super Bowl drew 126 million, but the peak was 137.7 million just before halftime, which is for Kendrick. So more people tuned in for Kendrick than this.
Yes.
It is the most watched Apple Music halftime show ever, with 133.5 million views. What I think is extremely amazing and impressive about that viewership number is also the fact that we don't have singular TV anymore. People stream,
they watch them all types of places.
So you're not even catching everybody, like, where before it was like everyone knows be at the house at X PM to watch ABC.
They streaming from everywhere now. Yes.
So yeah, it was record setting. Like I said, we talked about it with Bossy. I won't go over the, like, back and forth about who liked it and who didn't like it. I think everyone's entitled to their opinions. That's why you do it.
Right.
I liked it. I thought what he did was very germane to him. And in many ways, it reminded me of what I like about doing game theory. It just, sometimes the shit is just not trying to catch everybody. He could have done that. He could have tried to make the most broadest, mainstream, high energy halftime show, and I wouldn't have begrudged him for it. I wouldn't have been mad at him, but he decided to go a different direction, do him. He decided the message was more important than his own notoriety and how many more fans he could have reached or not with just like with I'm Kendrick Lamar. Instead, he kind of reached them with this is a message about America and blackness and black culture, and this is what I feel about it, and I really enjoyed that. So shout out to him for doing that. Also, Joe Budden claps back at Drake because Drake, I can't believe this is a grown ass man. Drake's almost 40-year-old ass has a fake Instagram account, Finsta.
Oh,
that's what they call it. The kids call it Finsta. Okay.
Oh, so that's the name for fake Instagram account?
Finsta. Yeah.
Okay.
So he has a Finsta and everybody knows what it is.
Well, then
it just
defeats the purpose.
I'm sure I don't understand somehow.
Mm-mm.
I'm sure the kids would tell me like, nah, everyone know everybody fake Insta, but whatever. When you're the most famous person in rap, it seemed like a weird thing to have to need a fake Instagram. Just say it with your chest.
Oh, well, your whole chest.
A whole baby back bitch. But he was on his Finsta and he threw shots at Joe Budden. And Joe Budden,
nothing else to do.
Cause he can't throw him at Kendrick.
Right, nothing else to do.
Same reason he's like, LeBron cheating, y'all. That shit went away fast, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Cause everybody, it's like cause all of us, it's not whether it's true or not. None of us care because that's not you battling Kendrick.
Yep, that's all we care about.
So I guess after that, Joe Budden went on his podcast and told him to get back in the booth and that you're dead. I'm not going back and forth with a corpse, blah, blah, blah. People were sharing the clip. But I just thought that was interesting that Drake, grown ass, is still trying to move weirdly instead of just coming straight out and saying whatever. Let's see. Michael B. Jordan says he's proud of Jonathan Major's resilience and that he would work with him again. I guess he's doing press for Sinners. He was on GQ on the cover. And they asked him about Jonathan Majors, and he said, but he's doing great. He just got engaged. I'm proud of his resilience and his strength through it all. I'm glad he's good. That's my boy. He even called him his brother. He said, they asked, would you ever consider working with him again? He said, yes. So I wonder if this is going to be part of the comeback.
Possibility. Yeah, people will continue to work with him.
I wonder. We'll see. But I mean, because I don't mean this in a way to be dismissive of John. We've talked about Jonathan Majors on here a lot, and I refuse to reduce or lie, because a lot of people just flat out lie about the Jonathan Majors thing now, and they just depend on y'all to be stupid and not know and not look it up, or the people they're talking to not be curious. He was convicted of a couple of things. It was beyond just that one incident where he hurt the woman's finger. And the evidence in the courtroom was about an abusive relationship, not just that one incident. I'm not, but everyone knows, famously listen to this podcast, I'm not I don't watch the people. If they not a good person, I don't watch it. I'm not even like that. So that's not my point that I'm about to make. What I do wonder is if somehow philosophically the re-election of Donald Trump has allowed this lowering of the bar that people are so desirous of, to the point where it's like everybody's okay now. Like, and I don't mean everybody's okay like they're good, but like everyone, you can't disapprove of anyone because we approved of Trump. And
I can see some people feeling like that. They go, if y'all put that motherfucker in office, okay.
Yeah, like when you see a Brad Pitt introducing America to the Super Bowl, and we know what he did with Angelina Jolie and those kids, can you call them out when they're about to show Trump on the Jumbotron during the national anthem and he's going to get a bunch of cheers? Like, there's something about it. It's not quite clean in my mind yet, the point I'm trying to make. But there's something about having Trump, I think, allows people to be their worst selves and be like, nah, this is fine.
Yeah, the standards are gone, because
Yeah.
that's one thing with Joe Biden being in office, and no matter how you felt about him, there was still some forms of standards, some forms of normalcy, some forms of, hey, dog, there's certain shit that we just ain't gonna let slide.
Yeah, it's like, what's impossible now for somebody to come back from?
Right.
You have a person who's been legally convicted of sexual assault.
A whole ass criminal.
Yeah, and he's president. Who told you what kind of racist shit he's gonna do, and he's doing it. It makes the culture wars feel much less important, and also makes the culture wars feel in some ways performative and fake, because even though it's not a damning percentage, he barely won this election. But it feels like culturally there's been a reset referendum on like, nah, we're done with that. And so I wouldn't be shocked if you see a Jonathan Majors come back now, just because who the fuck is that preoccupied with Jonathan Majors being a good or bad person now? I'm not saying they shouldn't be. Right. There'll be some holdouts, but it don't feel like those people are in control, and it doesn't feel like anyone wants to listen to those people anymore.
Right.
I feel like everybody's like, no, we get it. You know, like when a company lets go of some DEI thing right now, yeah, you could be mad at that company, but when it's every company, it's a lot harder to navigate the we being mad. It's like, well, now you just mad at Disney and Costco, not Costco, but you know, Walmart and Target, and eventually you just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I gotta live.
Yes, why am I wasting all this energy? Correct.
Let's see. Google Calendar drops Pride, Black History Months, and Google Maps renames Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Once again, y'all gonna stop Googling? What we using Ask Jeeves now? I don't know. But it's just everybody's abandoning ship at the same time. There's no standards, you know? Let's see. I'll do a couple more. Eric Adams' charges have been dropped by the Justice Department because he kissed up to Donald Trump.
Don't say.
And the word on the street is he's advised his administration to not contest anything that the Department of Justice and Donald Trump wants to do to immigrants in New York. And that not to be critical of Donald Trump.
Y'all be careful.
And they dismissed these charges. They dropped these charges with, I think it's without prejudice. Either, whatever the term is, they dropped the federal corruption case against him, but it can always be revisited and brought back. Meaning, so he now is their bitch.
Yes, and he gonna want to keep that man in office as long as he can, or any Republican, like, because if you get somebody else, it was like, no, we bringing this bullshit back up, he in trouble.
And you know he's a very self-serving man, so Officer Mayor Eric Adams is not going to rock the boat. He is going to 100% bend over for Trump and just be like, whatever you need to do to the people of my city that I swore to like govern, you can do whatever the fuck you want to these motherfuckers. And they're already doing stuff like taking away the funding that they were getting from the federal government to help immigrants, and those programs to help these displaced immigrants, some of them even sent to them from other states in America. They're already cracking down, and he will refuse to stand up for anybody.
Yep, and it's one of those things where y'all be safe up there. This is the shit that the South has to deal with all of the time. And all jokes aside, like, y'all getting ready to get a case of, oh shit, we didn't think it would happen here. Cause y'all vote too. Like, y'all put that man in office. My black ass down here didn't have a vote.
Right.
Y'all voted. Y'all put that person in office. And isn't it upsetting when you put somebody in office and they don't do the shit that you put them in office to do, which is fucking govern, and people just come and just do shit, and all you can do is just get angry and mad and just upset? You know, it's one of them things. Well, why don't you move? Why don't you get up out of there? No? Okay then.
All right. That's been our moment of Karen turning on the Northerners. All right, that's a new segment that we're doing. I say something tragic is happening in the Northerners, and she says, "Fuck y'all." What about the shit y'all say about us back in the day? No empathy for them. Fuck them, Karen. They're not humans.
It's
the empathy we want them to have for us. Let's not have it for them. Fuck them.
And the thing is, I do care. It does hurt. I am concerned.
It's very valid what you're saying. These are things we've heard our whole lives from people that don't live here. It's still funny, and I'm not gonna make that joke that every single time you get very upset at them, and they're the ones that have to deal with having this fucked up mayor, especially if they listen to this show. They didn't vote for this motherfucker. They didn't want this shit. They not okay with him being this piece of shit. But everything you're saying is valid, but it is still ironic and funny. So I'm gonna make the joke. We've all experienced it. Every time I talk to a Northerner and tell them about how fucked up shit is, they just tell us to move or act like it exists only down here. So no, there's no apology needed. It's still funny though. Speaking of funny, I'd like to do something a little funnier, guys, because this got kind of serious. I didn't know Karen was gonna get so upset, guys. We come back. I'm gonna try something a little different. I want to talk about this picture of Candace Owens.
Psycho.
That's nasty.
All right, so I was on the timeline the other day, and someone had tweeted out a picture of Candace Owens from when she was a kid, and it was this is not it. Boom, it was.
Oh no!
This must have been her photo, kid
Got
photo.
the mini fro.
Yeah, and I had to Google her because I was like, how old is Candace Owens? Because this picture, for those of y'all that can't see it, I think they said she was 35. But this picture really looked like a picture from like 1970 something.
Yes, 80s, 70s, 80s. Yeah,
Right,
she got a windbreaker on.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie, I saw some people making jokes about it, and I didn't necessarily agree or like the jokes, because a lot of the jokes were basically trying to say she looks like a boy, and they were misgendering her and all this stuff, and I'm sure that hurts her feelings, but also I think that's a bit transphobic, and I actually think that's a bit regressive, and I don't think that's necessarily a high bar of comedy. I don't think it's that funny, but I did have jokes myself. They just weren't necessarily about her not looking like a girl enough. That's not, to me, that's funny, but she does look like a recurring guest on What's Happening.
Yeah, you know what? She does.
She definitely looked like Rerun's sassy sister or something. It's like Claire Huxtable definitely scolded her.
You know she did when she was fucking with Vanessa.
Yeah. She's like,
she probably went to Detroit with Vanessa, wherever Vanessa went that time.
She said, Rudy, stop bringing your little friends in here with keeping their shoes on. She definitely tried to get Michael to join a gang on Good Times.
You know she did.
In a very special episode.
Try to convince somebody to steal.
Yeah. She was like, we can shoplift. Like, she broke curfew and got arrested when Arnold went home to Mr. Drummond.
That's good. Somebody walking in the background of the 18 episode.
Right, yeah. Like Mr. T definitely pitied the fool that she was.
Walking down the street in Miami Vice.
She looked like George Jefferson's lazy niece who stayed with them for the summer and then went to protest but wouldn't get a job, so he kicked her out. Carl Winslow definitely gave her a lecture about smoking cigarettes leading to hard drugs.
She was one of the background cheerleaders folding her arms when they was trying to do that breakdown.
For what?
You know how they used to have the old school cheerleader dance offs?
Oh,
and
yes.
she would be like one of the cheerleaders in the back that you couldn't see with her arms folded.
She definitely tried to sell Fred some hot electronics at the junkyard.
Yes, hot electronics.
And then the police came looking for her, and then he ended up giving her a job cleaning up around the house so he could keep her out of juvenile. She a very special episode ass nigga. You could just look at it.
Yes, and all the very special episodes in the background somewhere.
Uncle Phil definitely spoke at Ashley's school to inspire the kids, but then Candace was interrupting, and then they found out later that she was acting out because she came from an abusive home, and they got her out of there at the end of the episode.
Oh,
but then we never saw her again. She wasn't in no more episodes. She definitely tried to get Webster to smoke weed, but then later she ended up going to the hospital because she jumped out of a third-story window at the school because the weed had PCP in it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, George Jefferson walked by her on Amen.
Yeah, she definitely was in the choir at Amen, and she couldn't do the solo, but he had to talk to her. She definitely was that kid that learned the meaning of conjugate from Big Bird on Sesame Street.
She was definitely one of them background people in the Fat Apple Gang.
She definitely know all the words to 3, 2, 1 contact.
Come on, 3, 2, 1 contact. Yes, that's my goddamn jam.
Let's make contact. Joe Clark took her up to the roof and told her stop smoking crack. That's
she know the words to I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill.
She was on the Magic School Bus in the back.
Yes, she was.
She definitely the loudmouth friend of one of Nell's kids. She was hanging with Mr. Cooper.
She was not the sister. She was in the background somewhere.
Right. Oh man, I had so much fun with this. It was so good. She just Vasi said she looked like she lost a role on Degrassi to Drake.
Oh no!
Yeah. I said she looked like she got a shout out from you when you used to host Teen Summit.
Come on through Teen Summit.
Vasi said she high fived Slater when he was dancing in the hallway.
Come on through.
She looked like she placed third on the episode of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, that's good.
She was definitely part of the electric company.
Yeah, she was. She was a background character on each show on TGI Friday.
Yeah.
All the episodes. It don't matter what the show was.
Right. Oh man, she like she sold candy on the subway to keep her out of trouble. And Alex Keaton gave her a couple $.
She was peeking in the window on Three's Company.
Yes.
We old as shit, y'all.
Yeah, like no one under like 40 gets these jokes.
No, they do not. They don't know none of these shows we fucking bringing up.
They're funny to our demo. There's people in the chat. They get it. They know what's up. Oh man. And then the last thing I'll do is there. So then Stephen A. Smith was watching the Super Bowl and he saw Serena Williams crip walking on They Not Like Us, and he said he would divorce Serena Williams over her being in the Super Bowl dancing on her ex Drake.
Okay, nigga.
Once again, I cannot think of a funnier thought than any woman in the world having to deal with the single most argumentative man on the planet in a relationship. I just cannot. There's nothing funnier than Stephen A. Smith legitimately trying to have conversations with somebody that he has to have sex with. That's insane. No woman would have to. They would put rat poison in his grits by day 2. It's no fucking way.
Nobody wanted to.
Everything in his house got to be a fight. I thought I said honey nut Cheerios. You're like, oh God, so I'm supposed. Why are you giving me a teaspoon when I want a tablespoon? Like, just not, no, Stephen A. I don't want no problems. So you just can't do the dishes? Oh God, I know you want me to want to do the dishes. Anyway, the problem with going after Serena Williams,
Child, her number one fan.
right, is her husband.
Yes, he got a shirt. I'm her number one fan, bitch. I am in the fan club.
A man who is rich in his own right.
Yes, he is.
A man who was a self-starter and gained a lot of stuff on his own. But as far as he's concerned, he the number one Serena Williams groupie. And
the number one groupie.
She don't need a hive because she got Alexis Ohanian hive.
A hive of one.
And he be going up for her. So he posted something about this. And I loved every second of reading this because it was so like, I knew he would come through. I just want to say that first of all. Like, I was like, I can't wait till Alexis get a hold of this. Like, that's how excited I was.
Ain't nobody told him yet.
Stephen A said that shit. I said, oh, it's gonna take a day or two because Alexis gotta put baby Alexis to bed. But he gonna hop
for the babies to bed.
He gonna hop online and he gonna let this man have a piece
after the babies go to sleep.
And so I'm gonna read this to y'all. I get it. You're 57 and life didn't turn out the way you imagined.
Woo.
The kind of that kind of disappointment must be exhausting. You're the embodiment of peaked in high school, spending decades chasing validation from strangers through likes and digital hugs, only to find that no amount of external approval fills the void. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Oh no.
Now I just want to stop here real quick and
Bars.
I just want to stop here real quick and let y'all know. Likes and digital hugs is straight out of that Kendrick Euphoria. Faking for likes and digital hugs. And you know Alexis goes up for that Kendrick Euphoria because it's dissing Drake, and Drake is Serena's ex, and Drake famously dissed Serena at one point. Mm-hmm. And so Alexis will always be here for
I always had that energy
for some Kendrick shade. But back to this. Criticism only fuels your victim complex, reinforcing the comforting delusion that there's some grand conspiracy against you and your brave ideas, in quotes.
Oof.
When in reality, you've just got terrible takes. It's a cycle. Outrage, backlash, self-pity, repeat.
Oh no.
This is a lonely road. There's still time to rewrite the ending. Start by working on yourself first. You'll find that if you wake up every morning trying to be a little better, a little more curious, you won't have time for irrational hating. You'll be too busy winning. So he turned it into a motivational speech for Stephen A.
Well, damn.
And I gotta say, can't believe he got me rooting for a white man during Black History Month, but here we are.
Chad, yes. I'm rooting for that white man. He was like, let me have the mic.
Here we are. Who knew?
He was like, y'all talk about my wife. I got something to say.
Alexis was already coming, but, you know.
He was already going to be him and the babies.
He was already going to be there holding the babies by the tennis court while Serena was holding serve. You know, over there by Naomi Osaka and Coco go off. He was going to be out there. But, yeah, dog. All right, y'all. That's it for today's show.
And you know he gonna want sweet tea too.
Yeah, that's it for today's show. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, y'all.
We'll be back Saturday for our feedback show. Mm-hmm. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Mwah.